Hi, everybody. It's Ryan at Pi Records talking to Mike from Trash Room. How you doing
Hey
today, Mike?
guys, good. How you doing, Ryan? Good to see you.
Very good. Good to see you finally. Tell me a little bit about Trash Room. What kind of how would you describe the music, and what is the message you're trying to get out?
Well, Trash Room is a four-piece. We're sort of like a heavily metal-influenced punk band, I would say. We all kind of grew up listening to heavy music, and then my first love was probably metal, but I really connected more with punk. So we kind of consider ourselves that. But the genres blend. We don't really care that much about it. But a big part really is Amber Comber, our singer, her message through her lyrics. We started off with my wife and I wanting to start a project. My wife is the bass player, and we were like, we had some other people in mind, but we couldn't really figure out who we wanted for this band. And then we kind of came up with the idea. I knew Amber from previous bands. We weren't in bands together, but our previous bands had played shows together here in Charlotte. And we're like, she's got a great message. She's a poet. She's prolific. She's a great performer. I'd seen her perform before. And so this sort of idea that we had kind of came together really quickly. So, and she really brought a whole lot to the band as far as that. So we took this kind of heavy music. We added like this non-screamy vocals over it, more not even melodic, just kind of like shouty type vocals with a strong message that we all kind of believed in. And so that's sort of where we all came from as a band. And Travis, I don't want to mention Travis as well. He and I were a previous band. He was a vocalist, and we'd done some side projects where he was the drummer, and I was like, he just has the perfect sound for this music. So that's why he's playing drums in this one and not singing too.
Great.
Yeah.
What would you say Amber's message is?
Well, there's a variety of topics. She talks a lot about personal experiences, uh, pain she's gone through in her life, loss, friendships, things that, a lot of people experience and they can relate to. But she also talks about solidarity as as the human race, really. And that's the most important thing. And things like the current situations and Black Lives Matter, those are all very top of mind for all of us. And she especially is very active, and she protests daily here in Charlotte. So we don't specifically talk about politics, but a lot of the things that she writes about are influenced by politics, and especially the current administration. She's gone on record and other sources saying that as well. So it's a very much a progressive message of equality, but also things that come from personal experience for her, from her, her life and pain and suffering, and things that we can all kind of relate to.
That's great. Whereabouts have you played shows? Have you toured? Where can people see you?
Well, we kind of just play locally. We've all, in our youth, we're all in our 50s now. Well, Travis is a little bit younger, but we kind of don't really tour anymore. We just sort of play locally. We've all kind of played around before and gone around. Like I used to play a lot in the Southeast, and we went up Midwest a few times, and played New York a few times. So, we have done that in our youth, but for now it's kind of like just staying around Charlotte. We try to explore other parts of North Carolina and South Carolina. But we all have jobs and families now, and we have things that are kind of taking up a lot of our time, and
Yeah.
so we just try to focus on playing shows locally as much as possible and recording. That's really our focus right now. So touring, maybe one day if we ever have the opportunity, but not right now.
So, where can people find your music? You gotta get the message out. So, I mean, you're on Bandcamp. Where else can people
Yep.
find your music if they want to get a hold of it?
We're also on Spotify. Both of our records are up on Spotify if you want to just listen to it. There's obviously, we don't care if you buy it or not. We just want to listen to it. We have Bandcamp. We have a Bandcamp site. We're out on like YouTube and other streaming media. We kind of did like a streaming media push through CD Baby, which we did all our tracks mastered through there, and then pushed all that out. So there's various outlets you can find it at, Apple Music. So it's out there and around. And we did a little bit of research before we chose the name too, because we wanted to call it Trash Room. And we're like, there's got to be a band out there called Trash Room. And surprisingly, there wasn't. So if you just search for Trash Room, really, and anywhere, you'll be able to get a link somewhere to find the music.
The
We
one
also our Facebook page.
Oh, great, great. Are you
Yeah,
on any other social media?
yeah, we're on Facebook. We're on Instagram. We have a handle on Twitter. We don't use it a whole lot, but we primarily focus on Instagram and Facebook.
Okay.
For social media.
And I'm very interested in knowing the meaning behind the name Trash Room. Is that like a rage room?
No, it's actually kind of started out as a joke when I started going. So Myrtle Beach is a popular place down here that a lot of people from Charlotte go to. We were staying in a place in Myrtle Beach, and like it was a condo type place, and there's a sign on the wall that said Trash Room, and that was basically where you go dump your trash. And I always thought that'd be a hilarious name for a punk band. I was like, that sounds great. Like it's just, I don't know, really, I thought it was funny. And it also kind of, bring some humor into the band, which is really important to me because I like to find humor in things where possible. We kind of talked it over with Amber too. I was like, I know Amber, your lyrics are very thoughtful and meaningful, and we don't want to diminish that. So if we want to change the band name, we're happy to do that. She says, no, that's great. We'll leave it. So yeah, it just came from seeing it around in the environment and just sort of adopting it as our own. It's basically where you throw your old trash, throw it down a chute or something like that. A lot of restaurants will have that in the back room. There's a trash room, you just throw your trash back there. So yeah. That's where it came from.
Yeah, the just the covers of your albums show a lot of energy. What can they expect at your show?
Well, we really primarily I like to be like a live musician. The studios are fine, but I love to put on shows. For me, that's where I really get to cut loose. And so there's a lot of energy. There's a lot of interaction between me and Angela and Amber on stage up front. We're always just knocking into each other. And my wife, Angela, and I, the bass player, conspire in advance. We're like, oh yeah, we're going to get her now. We'll go bump her over, and she'll look around, and then the other one will bump her over. And then suddenly there's three people like slam dancing on stage. And so it's a lot of fun. I mean, obviously we're not trying to hurt anybody, but right. We're older and getting brittle, but it's very energetic. We have a few drinks before we go on, loosen up. And that was kind of important for me. Like, I want to write material that I can play half drunk and not worry about it. So we get pretty rowdy, it's like, we don't take it that seriously. Obviously it's a strong, serious message, but we want to get that energy in there too, because that's a big part of, for us, punk rock and what I grew up playing and listening to in the 80s and 90s. And so we try to get that in there as much as possible with it. So we're extremely loud. And that's something we have to tell people. Our drummer pounds the drums like no one I've ever heard before. Travis is just insanely loud. So, I mean, we have half stacks cranked up almost all the way. It's just freaking loud. So it's a loud most part, but they're a lot of fun. And we like to play with bands that are friends of ours that can relate to that as well. So that's what you can kind of expect. You can expect a lot of noise and a lot of fun and a lot of just, not violence, but a lot of energy. That's what you can see.
So what type of have you played with that you might have consorted with to kind of get a similar sound or a similar type of energy?
Well, I started off, are you talking about like local bands, or are you talking about influences, or?
Well, let's talk about the local bands first.
Okay, yeah. Yeah, so we play a lot with our friends, the Van Huskins, or just Van Huskins, really. There's some guys I've known for a long time. They're about our age, about our speed. They play a lot of shows locally, and they're also very energetic, three-piece. We play with just bands that come and go, really. There's a lot of other bands that we've enjoyed the stage with. There's a band that we really enjoy playing with called the Flight Risks, and they've had some tragedy, which is some setbacks, which I won't go into here. But I mean, there's a lot of people like the Negulators that I've known those guys for a long time in various bands. Charlotte has a huge music scene, which is kind of surprising because, I mean, I grew up here in Charlotte, and I was like, I left and went away. I was like, I'm never coming back here. This place sucks. And then it's way better than it ever was before. Like, everybody is kind of moving here and supporting the scene. There's multiple venues, world famous Milestones, as they call themselves. It's been around for like since '69 or so. They've had lots of great bands from all over the world play there. So, but there's a lot of bands that don't really stick around a whole lot too. And we've only been around for like 3 years now. So, bands kind of form and they kind of fall apart, and but our friends are all the same, and so and there's a band called Stormwatchers that we're friends with as well that is really good, that's playing with. Arms of Venus was a precursor of that band. There was a band called 30 Foot Beast, which I played in a different band with the drummer. Well, he plays drum in that band. He was a guitar player. So there's a lot of mixing and matching in the Charlotte. actually kind of a core group of people that play a lot of different bands, and then there's a lot of people that are always coming in
That's all.
as well. Yeah, it's a very, very strong community of people, metal bands, punk bands. There's some ska bands that play from other areas of North Carolina, all on the same bill, all sharing the stage, all sharing equipment. There's, there's a lot of cooperation between venues and bands as well. So it's a great place to be right now.
Awesome.
Yeah.
You did mention something about your influences. Tell me a little bit about everybody's influences musically.
Okay. Well, for me, I think probably AC/DC was the biggest one starting off. I just loved the rawness of it when I was like 9 or 10. And then just always wanted to play like that. I could never, of course, achieve, their status as guitar players, but I always liked playing that way. Then it went into like Iron Maiden and heavier stuff. And then of course, punk rock, DRI, Minor Threat, Dead Kennedys, Ramones, all that kind of stuff. So it started off with like some hard rock metal influences. And then I'm just listening to a lot of things like Wolf Brigade and that kind of, listen to some grindcore here and there, a lot of heavy music and pretty intense. But I have a lot of other influences. I love new wave growing up as well. So I love Missing Persons and The Fix and all that. My wife was a huge Ramones fan. She still is. We really still are. In fact, we name our boys after the Ramones. We have Joey, Johnny, and Marky are our boys. And it took them a while to realize that they were named after the Ramones. We're like, yeah, I mean, that's just who we are. So it was a big part of our lives growing up as well. Yeah, it's fun. Some people, we tell them the names of the boys, and then like a light bulb goes off and like, wait a minute, like, yeah, that's right. But yeah, she's influenced by that. She has a lot of new wave influence as well, and 90s rock influences. Travis grew up listening to a lot of punk rock as well as a lot of hip hop. He's very, very much into hip hop as well. And some metal, and Amber listens to all kinds of stuff. I would say probably has the broadest range of musical taste. She listens to everything, and she listens to a lot of quality music of genres that I don't really, understand or listen to a whole lot, but I love that she does that. She's got a wide range of influences. You can go over to her house for a coffee party or whatever, and you don't know what she's going to have on the turntable. It's just great. Sonic Youth, it could be Billie Holiday, it could be all kinds of stuff. So she has a lot of different influence as well.
You said,
but yeah, it all kind of comes together and works in this band, somehow.
Yeah, it does. You said turntable. Can we expect a vinyl in the future?
I would love to do that. It's a little prohibitive as far as cost goes. I think that's getting easier to do. But back in the day, we all did vinyl. We did 7 inches and stuff. This band is 100% self-funded, so no one contributes money outside of shows. If we don't play shows, we don't have money. We don't put out records. We don't put out CDs. Right. So it takes us a little bit longer than others. We don't have a record label. We have no other external support. So if we have the cash, which we really do, we might go back and put stuff out on vinyl, because I love the format. It's just a matter of we would want to have it remastered as well, because it's all mastered for digital right now, and we take our mastering really seriously and all that. So we'd have to go back and spend money on that as well. So it's kind of, I don't know, it'd be kind of looking backwards a little bit. I think we're working on the 3rd album already, so we may at some point be able to put it on vinyl, but we have 3 or 4 songs done on the 3rd album. So we're trying to save money for that recording session. And so that's sort of where we are right now.
It's awesome. Well, is there anything else you'd like to add before we sign off?
Well, I mean, I really enjoy what you guys are doing. I love watching your videos that you post. Is that I believe your wife Jennifer is the one that does the videos with the records and stuff. Yeah, that's just amazing. And she's been really nice to us as well in our comments and interaction on Facebook. And we love the fact that you guys are doing that. So I just wanted to thank you for, spotlighting all these bands that people probably never heard of, and distributing the music and doing that's playing a huge part in getting the message out and doing interviews like this. I mean, this is awesome. So I just wanted to thank you for that. And we're going to keep doing what we're doing, and I assume you guys will too, and we'll keep pushing forward.
Yeah. That's the whole purpose, man, is getting the music out there. You know what it was like in the 90s trying to get the music out.
Oh, yeah. Hard. It was hard. Yeah. And I was active in the 90s. I was probably more active in the 90s than I am now. We did shows here and there with some bigger bands, but we were never signed. We traveled on our own dime, and it was tough, and recordings were few and far between. And we have a few 7 inches from those days, some tapes, you know, but nothing really substantial because it was extremely expensive. And for CD orders, you had to get like 1,000 copies, and there's no way we're going to
Yeah.
sell 1,000 records. We just were a little punk band coming out of South Carolina back then. So you're absolutely right. So these kinds of media are really helpful to us, and we can bypass a lot of the red tape we had to go through before. So, and then, you know, stores like yours and these venues and things like that are a huge help. So we really appreciate that.
Yeah, man. I appreciate you reaching out to us because we love the music. And
Excellent.
we wanted to get it out there, and we kind of try to send it to people that we would think if they order a certain punk record that if I put it in with the order, they would give it a chance, you know?
Yeah, that's awesome. Absolutely. You know, it's not for everybody. It's pretty harsh. It's not traditional in many ways. It's a lot of different things. And so we tend to be pretty successful live because we kind of know everybody in the audience. So it makes it easier. So we don't really have a lot of people outside of our circle that really know about it. So it's kind of nice to extend that to other parts of the country and the world too. So that's awesome.
That's awesome. Well, thank you so much, Mike. It was really good getting to know you and talk to you. I knew you guys would be swell people, and
Oh, thank you. It's been awesome. Yeah, same here. We really appreciate you guys doing this, and you know, we like to support people that support other people, and not just us, and pay it forward. And we could tell you guys are doing it for the right reasons, so we were happy to be involved in any way we can, for sure.
you said you were in. Before I sign off, you said
Yeah,
you were in South Carolina, right?
yeah, yeah.
You know who Larry Parker is from River Monster Records?
Yeah, I don't really know Larry. I know who you're talking about. So yeah, back in the day, I was in a band that played a lot in the Southeast, and I probably know him some through that, but honestly, I don't really remember. But recently we've been in touch with him, and he's been on one of his compilations.
Yeah.
I think we're going for another one too. Yeah, so he's been really nice to us as well, and you know, he's in Columbia, which is about an hour and a half south of Charlotte.
Yeah.
Or right outside of Columbia. So yeah, so we played we were going to play in Columbia. Our show got canceled because of COVID-19. We were going to try to do a meetup with him at that point. So we're working on it. Yeah, but he's a great guy too. And there's a lot of people in the area, not just Charlotte, that will come out and see bands too that are from the other parts of the country. So
Yeah, he's doing a
this
lot.
whole area down here is really awesome.
He's doing a
Yep.
lot for bands, especially with the comps and everything.
Yep. Yeah, it's a great place to do that. I mean, a lot of bands don't have the budget to put out a full-length album themselves. They may have enough to put out one or two songs, and that's a great place to release it on a compilation like that. It's very old school, which I love. You know, that's the way we used to do it back then too.
Yeah.
We had like one or two songs on multiple compilations back in the day, and the fact that people are still doing that, there's enough interest, is really great, especially for people whose bands aren't necessarily on there. They're just promoting music. That's a big deal.
Yeah.
So we love that.
Yeah. Well, thanks again, Mike. And
Sure. Thank you.
I hope when this COVID-19 lockdown is lifted, that you guys are able to get back out there and make some more tunes. I'd be happy to promote them and glad to hear them.
Thank you. Yeah, we have been practicing here and there recently. Kind of just, you know, we do it in small gatherings. Of course, we don't have a lot of people over. We just have the band people over, and we're being careful. We haven't been going out at all. We're stuck here at home for the most part, and so we were taking it very seriously as well. We've had gigs canceled, which sucks, but that's just the way it is. Way more people have it way worse, so we're trying to do our part at least. But when things open back up again, we're going to hit it hard. We're ready. We have a set of material ready to go. We've been practicing, and we've got it includes 3 new songs, two of which people have never even heard before. So that's the perk, is that we'll have new music ready to go to just basically play for people for the first time. And that will be a nice change for us to get back out again, because it feels like it's been a long time. I realize really it hasn't, but we really miss it. So we'll definitely let you guys know when we have more things in the works. It's going to be,
that'd be awesome.
it's going to be fun.
Okay. You have a great day, Mike.
Thanks, Ryan. You too. Great talking to you.
Thanks.